A very good morning to all. In the last class, we were discussing about soil conservation and steps to conserve soil. And today we are going to discuss the exercises of this chapter. And now you can take page number 52 in your textbook. So let's start with the first one. Tick the correct options. I'll read out the questions and you can tick the right answers. So moving on to the first one. The process of removal of topsoil is called deforestation, soil conservation, afforestation, soil erosion. The second one. Felling of trees in large numbers is known as afforestation, deforestation, reforestation, terrace farming. The third one. Terrace farming helps in reducing the flow of water, reducing the blow of wind, growing more crops, increasing the crop yield. Moving on to the fourth one. A crop which is grown to prevent soil erosion is called kharif crop, green crop, cover crop, rabi crop. The fifth one. Building bunds helps in soil conservation, soil erosion, increasing the fertility of the soil, controlling plant pests. The sixth one. Overgrazing leads to soil conservation, soil erosion, good harvest, afforestation. So, let's see the answers. What is the answer for the first one? The process of removal of topsoil, that is called soil erosion. The second one, felling of trees in large numbers, that is known as deforestation. The third one, terrace farming helps in. How terrace farming helps? It helps in reducing the flow of water. Fourth one, a crop which is grown to prevent soil erosion. It is called as cover crops. Fifth one, building bunds helps in. It helps in soil conservation. It helps in conserving soil. Sixth one, overgrazing leads to. So what is the answer? It leads to soil erosion. It leads to the destruction of plants and it leads to soil erosion. Coming to the next one. Tick the true statements and cross the false one. So the first one, a long time ago, there was no soil on earth. If the statement is true, you can tick, and if the statement is false, you can cross there. The second one, roots of plants hold soil particles and prevent soil erosion. The third one, deforestation and strong winds are two natural causes of soil erosion. Fourth one, planting more trees leads to soil conservation. And the fifth one, wind and flowing water makes the soil fertile. So, what are the answers? What is the answer for the first one? Long time ago, there was no soil on the earth. Is the statement true? Yes, the statement is true. The earth was covered with full of rocks. The second one, roots of plants hold soil particles and prevent soil erosion. So, what is the answer? The statement is true. The third one, deforestation and strong winds are two natural causes of soil erosion. Is the statement true? No, the statement is false. So, flowing water and strong winds are natural causes of soil erosion. Deforestation is a human cause of soil erosion. Coming to the fourth one, planting more trees leads to soil conservation. What is the answer? The statement is true. Growing plants leads to soil conservation. Fifth one, wind and flowing water makes the soil fertile. Is the statement true? No, the statement is false. It makes the soil less fertile. Coming to the third one, answer the following questions. So let's discuss the questions and answers, and after that you can write it down in your notebook. The first question, what does soil contain? So what does soil contain? The soil has air, tiny living things like bacteria, humus, that is the dead remains of plants and animals, and rock particles in the form of sand, silt, clay, and pebbles. Coming to the second one, define deforestation. So, define deforestation. Felling of trees in large numbers from a forest, that is known as deforestation. Coming to the third one, explain overgrazing. So, you have to say what is overgrazing. And overgrazing is a human cause for soil erosion. So, overgrazing by cattle leads to destruction of plants. So, what happens? It leads to destruction of plants and makes the land barren. So, you all know what happens to a barren land. It gets exposed to rain and water, it gets exposed to heat and sunlight, and the soil gets easily eroded. Coming to the next question, what is soil conservation? So, what is soil conservation? Prevention of soil erosion is called soil conservation. Protecting soil against soil erosion, that is called soil conservation. Coming to the next one, answer the following questions in few sentences. So, this answers also we will discuss it now and you can write it down in your notebook. The first one, explain the formation of soil. So, we have already learned about the formation of soil, right? So, let's see the answer. In the beginning, the entire earth was covered only with rocks. So, the earth was covered with rocks. Heat from the sun followed by continuous rain heated and then cooled the rocks. So, this cracked the rocks. Flowing rainwater and heat widened the cracks. And the rocks broke into large pieces. Fast flowing water and winds broke rocks into small pieces, forming sand, silt, and clay. Gradually, what happened? Gradually, plants grew on the earth. When the plants died, their remains mixed with the soil, and thus fertile soil began to form. So, the formation of the soil is a slow but an ongoing process. So, the formation of soil is a slow process but it is an ongoing process. Coming to the second one, write a short note on soil erosion. So, what is soil erosion? So, let's see the answer. Any process that damages or removes the topsoil. Topsoil is the top layer or the topmost or the outermost layer of the soil. Removes the topsoil from region causes soil erosion. So, what is soil erosion? A process that damages or removes the topsoil from region that causes soil erosion. Soil erosion makes the soil less fertile. Then, soil erosion mainly occurs due. So, it mainly occurs due to wind and flowing water. Strong winds and flowing rainwater wash away the top layer of soil. Barren land gets eroded at a faster rate. How? As the barren land gets exposed to heat and sunlight. The barren land gets easily exposed to heat and sunlight. Then what happens? And dries up quickly. So, the dry, loosened topsoil is easily removed by the wind and flowing water. So, this is about soil erosion and the natural causes of soil erosion. That is the wind and flowing water. Coming to the third one, what is terrace farming? How does terrace farming help in conserving soil? So, you have to say what is terrace farming and what are the advantages of terrace farming. So, let's see the answer. In hilly regions, crops are cultivated on the slope of hills. Then, if a slope of hill is cleared for farming, what happens? The rainwater could flow downwards with force and wash away most of the fertile layer of soil. So, it washes away the top layer of soil. Such a land could not be suitable for farming. So, when the top layer of the soil is washed away, such land could not be suitable for farming. So, farmers convert. So, what the farmers do? They convert hills into steppes. For what? To grow crops. The steppes reduce the flow of water. Such farming is known as terrace farming. Then, now let's see the advantages of terrace farming. How terrace farming help in soil conservation. So, let's see the answer. It reduces the force of rainwater. It reduces the force of flowing water and prevents the soil from being washed away. What about the second one? Rainwater fills up each step. It gets filled in each step and plants can absorb water. So these are two advantages of terrace farming. These terrace farming can help in conserving soil. Coming to the next one, here you can see number of boxes. And what you have to do here is, this tells about the formation of soil. And what you have to do is, you have to rearrange these boxes. So you have to arrange these boxes according to its correct sequence, and then you have to write this down in the space given. Then you have to write this down about the formation of soil in the space given. So what you can do now is, you can just pause the video. You can write them in the correct sequence, write the formation of soil in the given space, and then you can play the video and let's check the answers. So I hope you have done. Let's see the answer. So what is the correct sequence? Which is the first one? The first one is, you have to write, in the beginning, the entire earth was covered with rocks. So the second one comes as, heat from the sun followed by the rain continuously heated and then cooled the rocks. This cracked the rocks. That is the second one. Then what is the third one? Third one is, flowing rainwater and heat widened the cracks and the rocks broke into pieces. Then what is the fourth one? Fast flowing water and strong winds broke rocks into small pieces, forming sand, silt and clay. And what about the fifth one? The fifth one is, gradually plants grew on the earth. When the plants died, their remains mixed with the soil and thus fertile soil began to form. And what is the sixth one? The formation of soil is a slow but ongoing process. Soil is being formed all the time, even today. So this is the correct arrangement. This is the correct order. And there is a space given there. There you can write this. You can write a short note on the formation of soil. Coming to the next one, high order thinking. Here you can see two illustrations. Illustration A and illustration B. So all of you just closely observe these two illustrations. What is the first illustration? It is about, you can see, there are plants growing and the plants prevent the soil from being eroded. Then what about the second illustration? You can see there is less vegetation. Then there is a question below that. Let's see the question. In which situation does the topsoil get completely removed? So when you closely observe these two illustrations, can you say in which illustration the topsoil is completely removed? Is the first one or is the second one? It is the second one. That is the illustration B. In illustration B, you can see the vegetation in this slope of land is very less. As the land is barren, it can easily get eroded. So what is the answer? The answer is B. Now let's see the following questions. List the environmental factors that cause soil erosion. So you all know about the natural cause of soil erosion. So what are they? They are wind and water. Strong wind and flowing water are natural cause of soil erosion. Coming to the third one. What has protected the soil in one of the above situation? If you see the first illustration, you can see trees are growing there. So the question here is, what has protected the soil in one of the above situation? That is the roots. The roots hold the soil particles tightly and prevent the soil from being eroded. So that is the answer. Coming to the fourth one. Is growing plants an effective measure to prevent soil erosion? Is it a good measure to prevent soil erosion? Yes, it is an effective measure to prevent soil erosion. Rich growth of plants prevent the soil from being eroded. The roots tightly hold the soil particles and prevent the soil from being eroded. So planting trees are an effective way to prevent soil erosion. Coming to the next one, what you have to do here is you have to draw a sequence of illustration to show how afforestation can transform a barren hill. So you all know what is afforestation. Afforestation means planting trees. So you have to draw an illustration to show how afforestation can transform a barren hill. Barren hill means a hill where there is no plants. A hill where there is no plants. So you can draw this illustration. You can just think over and you can draw this illustration. You can do this in your notebook, and once you have done this, take a picture and do send it through Teams. Coming to the third one, here also you can see two pictures, A and B. In the first one you can see the crops are grown. The crops are grown on a slope of hill, and to the other one you can see they are grown on steps. So the question here is, which is the better method to prevent soil erosion? So can you say which is the better method for soil erosion? Is it A or is it B? It is B. So why? B is better method. Plants will hold water in between. So when there is flowing water, the water gets deposited at each step so that it prevents soil erosion. So the picture B is the best method to prevent soil erosion. And what about illustration A? In situation A, water can easily flow downwards. You can see when there is heavy rainfall, the water can easily flow and it can easily take away the top layer. It can easily take away the soil. So the second method is much better than the first method. Moving on to the value-based question. Shama insists that her son Bablu not take the cattle for grazing to the same pastures again and again. So let's see the question. Why do you think she does so? Why Shama insists her son not to take the cattle for grazing to the same field all the time? So why it is? That is because to prevent overgrazing. So we all know that overgrazing leads to destruction of plants. And what happens gradually? Gradually the land gets barren. So that Shama insisted his son not to take the cattle for grazing to the pastures again and again. What is the second one? What are the harmful effects of overgrazing? So what are the harmful effects of overgrazing? It is a human cause of soil erosion. And you can see overgrazing leads to plant destruction. Once the plants are destroyed, what happens when the plants are destroyed? The land is exposed to wind and water. The barren land easily gets exposed to wind and water. And this gradually leads to soil erosion. The next one is an activity for you. What you have to do is you can experiment to find whether grass prevent soil erosion. You can experiment to find whether the grass prevent soil erosion. You can do this in your home. You can try this experiment in your home and write down the findings in your notebook. And the next one is also an activity for you where you can take 3 different types of soils and with that study them, observe them, and you can answer the following questions. And you can do this activities and send it through Microsoft Teams. So we are done with this chapter. This chapter was all about soil. What is soil? What is soil erosion? And we learnt about conservation of soil. So let's meet in the next class. So till then, thank you.